Hey Compass Church Pocomoke, this is Pastor Trevor here. I just want to welcome you to this video that talks about our discipleship strategy that we are currently using at our church. Something I wanted to share about it before I dive in is just how simple it is to use. My 10-year-old recently used it to lead our family in a devotional discussion, and it went flawless. She didn't even have any paper in front of her. She just had experienced it several times with me and then was able to repeat it. And that's kind of the purpose of it. This is designed for us to encourage disciples making disciples, that anybody that has done this can then do it with other people. It's something you can do with your family, something you can do in small group settings. You can do it one-on-one with friends over lunch. You can do it at your workplace during your work break with a couple friends. This can be done anywhere, and we are encouraging this to be ways to add anchor points in your life. We believe in anchor points at Compass Church Pocomoke, where we basically have anchored ourselves in with the church, that we've set anchor in places where we are in fellowship, where we are practicing our core values together. So that's pretty much all I have to say before we get into it. So let me go ahead and jump into this strategy. All right, as you can see, this discipleship strategy has 4 simple steps. You need to relate, to read, to review, and to respond. First step, relate, is made up of 3 simple parts. You simply ask everyone in the group, what are you thankful for recently? Then you ask everyone in the group, what has stressed you out recently? And then using the answers to those questions, someone can then pray, thanking God for the blessings, and ask for help with the stressors. And that's the end of the relate part. You then move on to the read part. In the read part, one person reads the passage aloud. Now this passage can be anything from the Bible. I've started with my kids doing this in the book of John, the Gospel of John, and you simply can just read one story, or you can read a whole chapter or multiple chapters, however you want. But as you're reading, you need to stop periodically and ask the other people if they can retell the story or what was already said. And so stop periodically and have someone explain what is happening in their own words. And the reason we do this is because it teaches the other people that they are capable of sharing Bible stories with others, so they can share the good news with other people. That's the end of the read section, and now we move on to the review section. So after you're done reading, you'll ask just a couple questions. And the first one is this: what did you learn about God, Jesus, or the Holy Spirit in this passage? So what is something you learned basically about the Trinity? It might apply in more than one case, or it may just be it's a story about Jesus, so you're just learning something about Jesus. But just ask the other people that are with you, what did you learn about Jesus? Then, what did you learn about people or human nature from the passage? Both these questions are pretty much covered by everything in the Bible, and that is simply because the Bible is about our relationship and His relationship with us, His creation. And then a third question, did anything stand out to you as interesting? And this question basically opens up for anybody to ask questions or to talk. And if you come across the question and you don't know the answer, that's okay. You can just simply together try to find the answer. And if you don't know, you can reach out to a pastor, and we'd love to give you an answer. This leads to the final step, which is respond. You ask the first question, which is this: did you complete your challenge from last week? Now, if it's your first week doing this, there won't be a challenge from the previous week or from the previous time you met. But if it's your first time, you can set your first challenge for the next time you meet. So you simply will ask, what challenge can you take this week to be more like Jesus? And now when we talk about trying to come up with this, it's not meant to be complicated. It's not meant to be hard. It's not even meant to be something that you struggle with. These are simply taking intentional baby steps that you can work on between now and the next time that you meet with the other people in your group, or if this is something you do over lunch with a friend or with your family. The next time you talk, you can check in. And then the final thing is, when can we meet again? And this one's important because a lot of times if we say we'll talk about it later, it may take 2 to 3 weeks before we can get together. But if everyone's already there and can schedule the next time together, it makes it much simpler. And of course, this is depending on the size of your group and availability for space, but this is definitely an important thing to try to do. Now, I do want to go back real quick to number 2 and just say this. If you're struggling to find something that you can work on, think about our core values. Our core values can be used to come up with all different types of ideas for personal challenges. And those core values are relational, family, prayer, truth, generosity, multiplication, discipleship, and evangelism. I'm sure any and every one of us, myself included, can come up with some type of challenge that falls under one of those categories. And so this pretty much concludes this strategy. I promise you it works. So my question for you is simply this: how are you going to use this strategy in your life to disciple someone else? Have a blessed day.